This is a Hot Pie Original.
I'm going to try to get ahead of this before the confusion starts, and that is the NFL's role, that said the NFL's role as judge and jury. You can probably add, if you want, executioner, and I don't think people quite get it. So if and when this happens and that whole thing starts up, this happens all the time with the public, I don't get it, man. I mean, the guy's he hasn't even had his day in court. I can explain that. So let me be clear about a few things. First of all, am I about to talk about football? Sort of, yeah. So let's do that thing. Different band. Song keeps changing. So let me be clear about a few things, at least the way I see this playing out. The Houston Texans, well, this I don't think is really up for much debate. The Houston Texans are one of the worst run franchises in all of sports. The Texans and the New York Jets are the two worst run franchises in the NFL. That said, for a change, they didn't screw this up. In fact, they may end up getting something out of the DeShaun Watson dumpster fire. I will say this, but I think I want to get it out of the way right away for full clarification. If DeShaun Watson, the quarterback of the Houston Texans, still, and I think at the age of 25, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, 25 or under, and that is saying a lot, in what I call the golden age of young quarterbacks in pro football, if he has been doing and is guilty of doing anything to any woman that is non-consensual, the prosecutor's office should be in charge and not the NFL and not some ambulance-chasing attorney. The taxpayer should want that. But that's not where we are. And maybe, just maybe, the DA eventually gets involved. I don't know. But as of right now, what we know, and the way it appears now and has always appeared, is this is about a settlement. And if he's guilty, I just want to keep saying it before people pile on and say, how can you be okay with this guy? I'm not saying that. I'm actually suggesting, how can you be okay with prosecutors if they don't get involved, if in fact it's non-consensual? Take that out, and maybe the DA eventually gets involved. So what we have now is a potential settlement. What we know is that DeShaun Watson has a ridiculously large Rolodex of massage therapists. Okay? Nobody has 52 massage therapists. I'm sorry. People whose their entire life is their body, and the guys in pro football take care of themselves, and they do get regular massages. They don't just find people off Craigslist and Instagram. Okay? That's not the way it works. So anywhere between 18 to 22 of those massage therapists say that he was inappropriate and some things were not consensual. There have been no criminal charges. His lawyer said a few days ago that he's been approached about a settlement. Now the NFL has stepped in, and this is why I'm even bringing this up, because I'm going to try to get ahead of the confusion that's going to come with this. You would say, wait a minute, what's the NFL doing? Well, the NFL is involved because they can. Okay? The NFL apparently has interviewed with its, quote, investigators, 4 of the massage therapists that have accused DeShaun Watson of dropping his towel, of all sorts of stuff. Okay? Yes, the NFL has investigators. In fact, the NFL employs a former sex crimes prosecutor in its office. If you want to say, I don't buy it, it's for optics, say it. Go ahead. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and defend the sincerity of the NFL. The NFL, just so you know, when people say the NFL, it's 32 owners. It's 32 billionaires. That's the NFL. That's who calls the shots. So if you question the sincerity, go ahead. All right, absolutely. I'm just telling you how it works. So Father's Day is coming up. You're doing the gift boxes.
Yep.
So here's something that's certainly not a tie or a sweater or a pair of socks. Not a bad idea.
Well, I think it's great if you don't know what to get your dad. I mean, get him some hot sauce. That way he can prove how much of a man he is, right? And this hot sauce will go great, and your dad will love it. So I think it makes a great gift box. You can go to our website and find those there. It come in packs of 4. It's a great box you just give to your dad and say, listen, here, Dad, thanks for being my dad. And it's not that sock that's just going to go in a drawer. It's not that gift card that's going to go in a wallet, never be used again. It's actually something he can share with his friends. And so I think it's a great idea.
All right, order a box now. It's atxhotsauce.com, atxhotsauce.com. So the NFL now has interviewed some of these women. And I'm guessing part of that is going to fast track. I'm guessing here. We're all left speculating what's going to happen, but I'm trying to get ahead of the curve when people freak out and say, why is the NFL suspending this guy? It's not judge and jury, when in fact it is judge and jury. The players in pro football have an agreement, and it's debated often, and it backfires on them often. They have an agreement with the NFL about in essence, a morals clause, and it gives the commissioner's office, who works for the owners, the power to suspend you anytime for any reason. Deal with it. So it doesn't matter if you really did it. It doesn't matter guilt or innocence. What matters is he's protecting the look of pro football, right? If you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Jeff, didn't the guy that owns the New England Patriots end up at a strip mall investigated in some sex trafficking case? Yes. And it went away. This may not go away because the NFL is run by owners. So the NFL interviews these women, and the NFL can turn right around to suspend DeShaun Watson. DeShaun Watson can appeal it. He'll lose. So they interview these women. Where am I going with this? Where I'm going is they can do whatever they would like to him, and they will do it because of the conduct policy the NFL has in place, which gives them total discretion as judge and jury. The commissioner can decide tomorrow DeShaun Watson is not going to get a paycheck for 8 games next year. He could decide DeShaun Watson's not going to get a paycheck for 12 games next year, or 2 games, or in 0 games. He can decide whatever he wants. So the Texans are on the hook for a lot of money for a guy that doesn't want to be there. If you follow the news at all, you know that. Had these allegations not come up, he would have been traded. And sadly for Texans fans, the Texans would be in a better place today because this is the only way they can build their franchise or rebuild their franchise. And yes, they'll probably screw it up. So everything backfired on DeShaun Watson, his own fault, possibly, and the Texans, not their fault. So maybe something criminal comes out of this, but so far it hasn't. It seems likely these arrangements, that's all we know now. Is that a polite term? Yeah, pretty polite. It seems likely that these arrangements are more than a rock massage. Like there's no whale sounds playing in the background. I'm guessing that's not what this was about. Now, I would say this, that if this is about DeShaun Watson having an arrangement with a bunch of different women, and these are consenting adults, it's not worth our time and energy to care what consenting adults do if it's consensual. If it's not consensual, the DA needs to get involved, and the DA has not. So he needs to be in an orange jumpsuit if it's not consensual. I don't know what he did or what he didn't do. But all the NFL cares about is the optics in this story. And it's a bad look right now. And I'm betting the league has winked at his lawyer. This is my speculation now, because otherwise he's about to get suspended. That's my other speculation. So it's going to go one or two ways. One of the ways is the NFL has winked at his lawyer to say, make this go away. Make this story go away because our bosses, rich old white men, don't like this because we need soccer moms to buy shirts. So we need this to go away. So either you make it go away, i.e. settlement, or we suspend the guy to make ourselves look better, no matter what he did or didn't do, no matter whether it was consensual or not. That's where I think this thing is. So you make it go away. You guys get back together. The ambulance chasing lawyers get back together. You figure out a way to make this go away. And I suspect they probably didn't say this exactly or didn't put it on paper. They hinted at, you need to do this in X amount of time or he's not going to get a paycheck. Now, for the Texans, which everything goes wrong, right? If you're a Texans fan, and it's not your fault, it's just a lousy organization. It's just a screwed up entity that gets everything wrong. And now when they get a chance to rebuild their franchise, even that goes wrong. So it might work out for the Texans. So if he settles, guessing how this could play out, he settles, everyone shuts up. There's history now. Colin Kaepernick settled. People don't even know that. That's how quiet everyone can get. Colin Kaepernick settled a case with the NFL, and very few people even know it. So if he settles, everyone shuts up. It gets quiet, and right now it's kind of quiet. And then somebody, Philadelphia or Carolina, my guess, throws a bunch of draft picks at the Texans. The team and his lawyer make him sign away. The league may even make him sign away that he's never going to go to Craigslist to get a massage again. Like, buddy, here's the terms of the deal. You're not going to Instagram again. You're not going to Craigslist ever again. You want to get a paycheck. Here are the standards you're going to have to live by. So that's going to get weird. But if it gets quiet again, and it's starting to get quiet, all of a sudden it goes away. He gets a new team. And I think it might play out that way. And I think it might play out that way pretty soon. It's either that happens and happens pretty quickly, or if it doesn't look like that's going to happen and the prosecutor's office doesn't jump in, which I think is debatable too. I mean, I think taxpayers ought to be concerned about this case. Then the NFL says, we're righteous, we're high and mighty, we care, we're not going to let this go on. And then they step in and say, that's it, you're out 6, 8, 10 paychecks. Deal with it.
From the Hot Pie Media Studios, JeffWardShow.com.